Crowd swells as an intense standoff between a KCK family and police unfolds.
My message to the police today is how long you want to stay there. You're going to shoot me, shoot me. Get this over with.
As the situation escalated, the family called 41 Action News from inside their home, telling us they refuse to give police what they want.
We're going to heaven today, my wife said, because there's just no way. Not going to submit to their authority.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Rhian and Allie.
And I'm Mike Maruzars. All of this unfolded when U.S. Marshals tried to serve a search warrant and arrest warrant to a convicted sex offender who was inside the house. The man refused to surrender, and then a crowd grew outside. Then, after about 6 hours of failed negotiations, police left.
And we spoke with the couple inside the house to find out why they refused to come out. 41 Action News reporter Lisa Benson joins us from where the whole thing went down. Lisa.
Well, Greg Andrews says he's been fighting allegations against him for years. And in fact, you can take a look at the signs and his yard to see just how long he's been fighting. And I talked to him on the phone during the standoff, and he said he was willing to die today before going back into the Wyandotte County court system.
I get up and I look out the window, and there are marshals with like vests and assault rifles, and they're, circling the house. And so we just got out our megaphone and started talking.
It started with U.S. Marshals trying to execute an arrest warrant and a police standoff near 57th and Parallel Parkway.
Understand that we're just trying to wait out this situation because we have no desire whatsoever to hurt anybody or get hurt. We want to talk it out until we can work it out and go home.
Okay. And let this thing work out for the good of our people.
It led to dozens of neighbors and community members policing the police as they tried to get Greg Andrews to surrender. Police say Andrews has a parole violation for aggravated indecent liberties with a minor and failure to register as a sex offender. Andrews says he's been targeted by law enforcement for years and he refuses to go back to jail. Greg Andrews and his wife Renee communicated with the community via bullhorn as police tried to contact them via phone. Around 2 o'clock this afternoon, U.S. Marshals and KCK police left the area and pulled down the tape.
You see what the people can do?
Allowing supporters to greet the Andrews family.
I think it was responsible for law enforcement to pull out and allow this to possibly play out in the course the way it needs to. I think it was also triumphant for the community. I want to say a shout out to all the community. People came out. We was here about 70, 80 deep.
Now back here live, the Andrews family, which includes 4 children, live inside of this home. 2 were in school during the standoff. KCK police say they decided to de-escalate the situation because the severity of the warrants did not justify them risking innocent lives, so they simply decided to leave. Live in KCK, Lisa Benson, 41 Action News.
Here with breaking news, a standoff at a home in KCK ending within the past 90 minutes with the police calling it off.
Yeah, we were talking about it was kind of an odd occurrence. This all started when U.S. Marshals tried to serve a warrant at the home and the people refused to cooperate.
We want to get right to 41 Action News reporter Lisa Benson. She's been there all day watching this. And Lisa, you just spoke to the couple who lives inside?
That's right. This couple is active in the community, and they definitely have a message to share. Take a look at all of these signs right here behind me. They've been up for months, and this is just part of the reason Greg Andrews believes he's being targeted by law enforcement. According to KCK police, U.S. Marshals tried to execute an arrest warrant here in the 5700 block of Parallel Parkway, but Greg Andrews refused to come out. KCK police tried to assist in the arrest, initiating the police standoff. Police say there's a parole violation for aggravated indecent liberties with a minor and failure to register as a sex offender. Neighbors and community leaders stood in the streets policing the police as they tried to get Andrews to surrender. I talked to Andrews on the phone during the standoff, and he told me that the allegations against him are false and he refuses to be taken back into custody. Around 2:30 this afternoon, police vehicles started pulling away and they took down the tape, allowing supporters to walk to the Andrews home.
This is something about U.S. Marshals, and we have a warrant for parole violation. I said, I'm not on parole. I never was. You see what the people can do? Do you see what the people can do? Yes! Listen, they'll come sneaking back tonight. They'll come sneaking back.
Now, back here live, you just heard him. They believe that law enforcement will be back here later on tonight. Now, the Andrews have 4 children who live inside of this house. Their younger children were at school during the standoff, but their 2 older sons were actually here. And in fact, I talked to one of their sons, and you will hear from him at 5 o'clock on exactly what happened inside of this house and what prompted this standoff that miraculously just ended peacefully. In KCK, now KC, I'm Lisa Benson.
What a scene there today. Thank you, Lisa. So here's a closer look now at the timeline of how this all happened. The U.S. Marshals went to the home to serve a warrant at the home at 5701 Parallel Parkway around 8:30 this morning. The people inside refused to comply, and that's when the standoff started. Around 9 this morning, Greg and Renee Andrews contacted 41 Action News. They told us they believe they're being set up and that they're innocent. For about 5 hours, Renee Andrews used a bullhorn to communicate back and forth with police on the scene. And then, just about 90 minutes ago, the marshals and the police department wrapped up the standoff, saying the safety of the community outweighed the severity of the warrants.
Also breaking overnight, a house fire in Miriam. The house fire started near
According to court records, Andrews is a registered sex offender who was convicted of indecent liberties with a child. However, he claims he was framed for being outspoken against the government. He and his wife took to megaphones saying they were prepared to die if cops were there to take him because he was innocent of the sex charges. That he was framed and now authorities were coming after him because of his exercising free speech rights. Stacey Cameron with KMBC tells the Free Thought Project. During the standoff, several dozen people had shown up to voice their support of Andrews. The police and media referred to them as protesters. Multiple videos were taken and live-streamed as the events unfolded. Andrews, who is white, is married to an African-American woman and is also an outspoken supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement. As the day went on, Andrews and his wife took turns calling out the names of government officials in the town who they were claiming are corrupt. They also made several claims of their innocence and said they were being framed. At one point, people at the scene could be heard chanting, "No, don't shoot." The community says, "No." After a 5-hour-long standoff, police on the scene removed the crowd barrier, got in their patrol cars, and left, with no word. The crowd began to applaud and quickly walked over to Andrews' home. Andrews and his family then walked outside and were welcomed by the crowds. The Free Thought Project contacted Terry Ziegler, chief of police for the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department, to inquire as to why officers left. However, we've yet to receive a response. Perhaps police felt pressured from Andrews' supporters and did not want to take him in while they were under a microscope. Or, perhaps police realized the potential for an unnecessarily violent outcome and chose the high road to avoid such a situation. Either way, one thing is certain, and that is the fact that no one was hurt. As we receive more information from the department on this story, we will update this article. Read more at http://thefreethoughtproject.com/soverian-citizen-standoff-police/#OR8X7CPXOH1KAH2A.99